Are these flowers absolutely beautiful? Yes, they are. But will I be planting them in my cut flower garden for next year? Not a chance. Unless we're talking about the one flower that while I was filming this, I actively talked myself back into growing. But that's the only one, okay? That's it. All the other ones, sorry, sayonara, see you later. You're not putting down roots in my garden. Talked about it a little bit in my yearly wrap up about how my garden this year was like really beautiful. There were so many pretty flowers and like definite like pockets of beauty. But overall, I wasn't super inspired. I wasn't excited to go out there. And I just, because of that, I have this overwhelming need to like shake things up, to get some new energy out there, to just feel excited and happy to be out in my garden again. So the first area that I'm pretty excited to kind of shake things up because it's been a while are my dahlias. Now I love dahlias. I think that they are the perfect cut flower. They are so versatile. There's so many different colors, shapes, textures, bloom types. They're cut and come again, so they're very productive. But there are some varieties that I just don't gravitate towards for my cut arrangements. And those are typically my single bloom dahlias. They're still like so pretty, but I just find that as a cut flower, they're a little bit more delicate to use. Their petals can bruise kind of easily, or they just don't last as long as some of my other varieties in a vase. So I don't reach for them. And because of that, they tend to, in my garden, they flower and go to seed very quickly, which means that they are a deadheading nightmare. Specifically, these two dahlia plants in like one of the very first gardens when you go out to the cut garden, they've been there since we built the beds years and years ago. They keep coming back. They're really beautiful, but they are constantly in a state of like seed pod. And so I want to plant something new. Like I said, I want to get some new energy out there. I want to put something in their place that I'm going to cut from, that I'm going to see and feel inspired to put arrangements together. So those guys are moving. I don't know yet what we're going to plant in their place. Every single year that I have planted the sweet Natalie dahlia, it has perished for one reason or another. I don't know why. It doesn't want to live in my garden. So maybe this will be the year that it will make it. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. And then the next flower that is out of here is my calendula. Okay, it's also a deadheading nightmare. I made a whole video about calendula and how every year I try to quit it, but I can't. And the thing about it is that I don't hate it, right? I don't like it, but it just comes back everywhere. And while I get excited for it in the spring because it's beautiful and it's bright and it makes me happy, once we get into like the full swing of summer, I regret my choice to leave it there every single year because, like I said, it is a deadheading nightmare. I am brutal too. I will like cut that baby back all the way to the ground and it just keeps on sending things up. And I know to some of you, you're like, that sounds like a dream. That's what I want. I want something that I don't have to plant, that comes back on its own, that is resilient, that just keeps on blooming, and that's a really pretty color. And hey, if you want calendula in your life, I totally get it. I don't want it in my life, in my garden. Okay, this will be the year. Mark my words. This will be the year
that I get rid of it.
I'm going to be really, really harsh about removing it from the garden, even if it pains me in the process. Okay, I think I'm going to move all of my like bigger plants down to the bottom garden, and that bottom garden, it doesn't get a lot of love or attention, so it's going to be kind of like sink or swim for the calendula down there. Really, I think it's going to swim, okay, because it is determined to live. And I respect that. I want it to live somewhere else. I don't want it in my main cut garden. Next up, we have Nigella, Love in a Mist. It will be no more in my garden, kind of. Now, I've been growing Love and a Mist for the last 2 years. And last year, if I'm being real with you, that was a total me problem. It self-seeded from the previous year and it went like absolutely nuts. And I was not expecting it. And it just became like this overwhelming carpet in one of my beds. Not terrible, right? A very pretty mistake. It has like a really interesting, like gorgeous flower. The foliage is really nice. The seed pod you can use in your arrangements and it adds like a really cool like sense of interest and texture. What I'm trying to say is like it's not a terrible flower, and if you love it or if you want to grow it, I totally support you. It's just that I haven't been like super excited to use it. Now, hear me out, okay? There is a small chance that I might grow a few of the blue varieties. I think that the one that I'm most interested in is called Midnight. So there's also this like, I don't know, like mauve rose shade that I'm a little intrigued by. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little intrigued by it. Do I want to grow an entire bed of Love and a Mist? Nope. I do not. Not again. But there's a small, tiny chance that I will grow a few of these blue ones, of these rosy ones, and just sort of like interplant them amongst my other flowers just to see, you know, a little taste of love out in the garden to see if I want to grow them again, if I could be persuaded by nature to once again grow them in a full bed dedicated only to them. But right now, I am not doing that, and I am not going to grow any of the white varieties. I think the one that I grew the most of, I think one of them is African Bride, and the other one was Albion. Yeah, the white ones with like the really deep purple centers and the white ones with like the green centers. Those two, I'm not going to grow them, but the colored ones, we'll see what happens. Okay, and it's not because I'm an indecisive person. All right, I am an indecisive person. But you know, I'm human and I just want to see if maybe I'm wrong about Love and a Mist by trying out some different colors. Nothing wrong about that. So what else am I not going to be planting next year? Stock. And I keep going back and forth on this one because it is one of my favorite flowers, but the thing about it is that it is a one-hit wonder. It blooms, you cut it, that's it. You have to succession plant them if you're gonna use them for cut flowers, which honestly is not like the worst thing because it is like so pretty, you guys. It smells so yummy and so delicious. It has this like really nice line element that it adds to your arrangements. It's very like old fashioned feeling with these little like ruffly delicate flowers, especially if you get the tones and like the very like light pinks and antique like rosy mauves and the creams. It's just so beautiful. It's not because I'm an indecisive person. So what else am I definitely growing in my garden next year? Stock. What am I definitely not growing next year? The Fama White Scabiosa. And this one's for real, you guys. Okay, this one I'm really not gonna grow it. I grew it for the first time this last year and I was really excited about it in my seed haul. I think Scabiosa is like so perfect. It's like a little dainty doily. I'm gonna buy it. I can't not buy it. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's like a sickness or a disease, or it is just such a like a cute, delicate, like pretty little flower. So I was really looking forward to it adding like a nice little texture to some of my arrangements. And it's white, so it's very neutral. But I just didn't really use it that much and I wasn't super excited about it. And I'm trying to like rejuvenate my garden and myself for next year where I'm only growing flowers that I'm just like so excited to go out and cut and use, and this flower just didn't really do it for me. I think that it is very lovely, and I think that if you like this type of flower for like a texture element or kind of like a floaty little element, it is very beautiful. I just want to use my space next year for something else that I'm a little bit more excited about. And then I kind of feel that way, I'm sorry to say, about my Cinderella zinnias. Here's the thing, okay? I love Cinderella zinnias. I think that they are so pretty and so cool, and they have that little like tuft of petals on the top of the flower that adds like so much texture and interest, and like it's just such a unique looking flower. I love it. There's so many different like beautiful colors. However, personally, my Cinderella zinnias do not bloom, the majority of them, with that little tuft on the top, which is like the whole point. Okay, that's what you're excited about, is that little ice cream tuft at the top of the flower. Without that, it's just a regular old boring zinnia, okay? And it's not even as cute and pretty as the regular like Queenie series or the Lilliput or things like that. It just looks like a little, plain old whatever zinnia. Now, some of my zinnias do bloom like that, which is what I think always gets me like really excited and like reignites that like fire of love that I have for them and makes me want to like buy new varieties and try planting them again, is because some of them do turn out the way that they're supposed to, but most of them don't. And I need to be honest with myself about the realities of my garden. And the reality is that most of my Cinderellas, they let me down. They disappoint me. And I can't keep making excuses for them and keep growing a bunch of them just for the few that bloom the way I want them to. So I will not be growing them next year, and that'll just open up more room for the zinnias that I already love. I told you in my wrap up that I fell in love with the cactus zinnias. I think they're so beautiful, and I plan on growing so many of those. And then I love the Queenie series, so that'll make space for more of those. And then, maybe for the Cinderellas, like I have read a lot about them, and that sometimes it's like environmental factors or caretaking factors about why they don't bloom the way that they're supposed to with that little fluffy little top. So maybe I'll do like a little experiment. Maybe I'll plant some in pots and then change up some factors, whether it's like watering or sun or fertilizer, and see if any of them kind of respond differently or bloom better than the others. That way, if I ever do decide to try them again, maybe I won't be disappointed. I don't know. Let me know. Is that experiment something that you might want to be in on? Like, are you interested in seeing how that turns out? Or is that something that I should just save for my own personal enjoyment? Let me know in the comments. And I think that that is all that I have to share with you today. All the flowers that I will not be growing in my cut garden next year. Please let me know down in the comments what you are not going to be growing in your cut garden, or any garden, whether it's veg or flowers or whatever. I would love to know. And please stay tuned. I do have a few videos coming out soon. One about my garden layout and all the fun, exciting changes that I'm going to be making. I have a seed haul, and then I also have my next episode of how I ruined my garden. It's a little bit shorter than the last. It's pretty punchy, and it's also my most regrettable failure that I make every single year. And I just keep making it. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.